Okay. Public. Definitely. Definitely public. Hey, we have our first people. How's it going? Can you all see and hear me? That's the question. Pocketful, Glock 232, Gaston, Uncle Dan, John Little. Wow, Mason. Everybody who's anybody's here. How's it going, guys? Can you hear me? I'm hoping you can hear me. Say yes or let me know if you can. How's it going, guys? Oh, Uncle Dan, it says echo. Are you just echoing what I said, or are you saying that you hear an echo? A tad echo. That's kind of interesting. Why would there be an echo? Let me check my settings here. I don't want to be obnoxious. But how we all doing? Echo. Okay. Let me go into my settings manager here. Probably should have figured this out before I started streaming. I'm sorry about that. Let's see. Okay, I did something, but I'm not sure if it's going to change anything for the next little while because I'm kind of using the microphone. So, yeah, my speakers are completely off, actually. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. But I did change something. So do you hear any difference? Is there an echo now? It's better? Is it gone? That's my question. Whew. Okay. Can we live with it? Okay, cool. I guess that was a little setting I had, and I thought it might be a good idea, but apparently not. All right. Well, how's it going? How's it going, everybody? Hope we all had a good Thanksgiving if you're in the United States. Otherwise, if you are not, I wish you have a good weekend. I know I've had a pretty good weekend. I personally had a great Thanksgiving with my family. And, yeah, let's see. So I did want to talk with you guys a little bit about what experience I had today. I had a great time flying the Wizard, the Ishin Wizard X220 today. Had a great time. And I did see one person in the comments here was asking what FPV. That's the first person view flying of a racing drone like this, where you put on a headset and you kind of look at through the camera's eye essentially, and you're flying first person view. Had a great time today, and I know I put a video out maybe, I guess that was about a week ago now, and I kind of crashed the drone like the first time I put on the goggles. Well, I really had a great time this time around, and some of the issues that I had were actually involved with the Betaflight program. I know a lot of you guys probably don't subscribe to me for FPV flying, but I did want to just share my excitement that something went well, and I enjoyed it. So, yeah, hooray! All right. Also, watching my last live stream, I did notice that I say a lot. I'm going to try not to say I wish maybe one of you guys could just slap me in the face every time I said We're going to try not to say so much. It's the small things. Yeah, actually, I only broke one prop today. And the previous time I took it out, I broke like probably 6 or 7. That's a lot of good time. Pickle Rick has a Mavic Pro. Well, thank you. Oh my gosh. Pickle Rick. I have my Mavic Pro. Love mine. Not going to get the new one. The new one, are you talking about when the Mavic Pro 2 comes out, or the new Phantom, or whatever's up next that we only hear rumors of? I don't know what's on the horizon, but I am a bit taken aback by your generosity, Pickle Rick. Thank you so much. Jeez. There's a special place in my heart for you. Now I feel like I need to send you a t-shirt or something. But yeah, regardless, thank you very much, Pickle Rick. That's impressive. I appreciate that. All right. Now I'm kind of, whew, all right. Staying on course here. Let's see. Oh, the Mavic White or the Mavic Pro 2? Yeah, that's the question. Okay, the white one. Yeah, so the white one, I think it's just a difference of color, right? There's no real difference in the actual drone itself. Am I correct in assuming that? I haven't really researched it very much. I've never flown it, but I'm pretty sure that there's just a difference of color. Is that correct? Bumblebee Videos, back. How's it going, Bumblebee? The Apple exclusive one. Yeah, I saw the Apple some Apple drone. I thought that was really interesting. I'm not really sure. I saw some pictures of it. I'm not really sure if that's a real thing or not, or if it's just some artist rendering of what people wish there was a drone, existing like that. How's the beard? Pickle Rick, you can definitely be a mod. Let's see. How do I do this? Add moderator. You are a moderator for my channel. Pickle Rick. You know, a lot of people call me Rick as well because they see my name, they see my last name, and they think my name is Rick for some reason. Right. Oh, I almost said Let's see, how's the beard? I'm kind of getting used to it. It's past the scratchy stage, but I'm still looking forward to kind of getting rid of some of this. Oops. Still looking forward to getting rid of some of this this length. Hopefully in the coming couple weeks I can maybe shave it into something. I do want to keep the chin, maybe some of the sideburns, but other than that, I think it's going. Let's see. Trying to think of any other questions. What's the difference between the Mavic Pro and Platinum? Well, to my understanding, again, I've never flown the Platinum, but I have flown the props that come with the Platinum. The Platinum, I'm pretty sure, has special motors that work maybe a little bit better or a little more efficiently with those low noise props. I can't really say that for certain, but I've heard that that's the case. The Mavic Pro normal version can use low noise props. However, like I said, I've been told there's something up with the new Platinum motors. I don't know. Can't really say. Other than that, the Platinum does come with its own Platinum battery, which I've also heard lasts a little bit longer. Unfortunately, I didn't get my hands on a Platinum battery. I was hoping to have something that would, I could maybe do a test in a video. But unfortunately, I ordered a Platinum battery, and it took over a month, and it still wasn't shipping to me, so I canceled. So maybe after Black Friday, this whole weekend, maybe I can actually get some better batteries. Who knows? Yeah, Anthony, flies a bit longer. Not like crazily long though. If you wanted to fly longer, I mean, you had the Phantom 4 Pro, which also flies like 3 minutes longer than the Mavic Pro. I'm not really sure if I'm convinced that that's even worth it alone in itself. Stan Cook says the ESC, the battery, and the props are the difference. That makes sense. Okay. Just reading these questions. Bumblebee Videos, my Mavic camera is resetting mid-flight. I have DJI Care Refresh. Should I pay to replace or have them repair it? Do I have that option to pick? So your camera is resetting mid-flight. Are you saying that your camera settings, like when you select 4K, shutter speed, ISO, and stuff like that, it resets? Or what are you talking about when it says resetting? Alpine White, Steve G or G? Sorry, I'm bad with names here. DJI are finding ways to get rid of old stock before they launch Mavic Advanced. That's an interesting thought. Mavic Advanced. I would assume it'd be like the Phantom 4 Pro versus Advanced, where the Advanced is kind of still underneath the Pro, but I'm not really sure. John Little says he loves my Mavic Pro, just weather never right in the UK, always rainy and windy. I agree with that, in that sometimes there's just really, really bad times where you can't seem to get outdoors. Wind doesn't seem to be that big of an issue. The Mavic works so well in the wind that unless it's 20, 25 miles an hour, you're probably okay. And of course, if you keep it low anyway, sometimes you do get those high wind velocity warnings in your app when you go really, really high with the Mavic, but I get those almost on still days anyway. So I don't really put too much faith in that warning, but I do research the weather and I kind of take that into consideration. It jerks around. Okay, so Bumblebee Videos says that his Mavic Pro camera jerks around and comes back, stops recording as well. That's strange. So I'm assuming that you've taken off your gimbal cover, your gimbal clamp, and you've done a gimbal calibration recently. That's probably your next option if you haven't done that, is doing a full manual, or I'm sorry, automatic gimbal calibration through the DJI Go app and see if it has any issues. You'll probably find an issue there, if there is one, by calibrating, and they'll give you some sort of message. Jay Golden says the new update won't let me fly in your backyard. So this is the firmware update or the maps update that you've had recently. You should be able to still unlock certain areas if you put in your information. They either ask for a credit card or a phone number, in which case you can put your, I always put my phone number, and they text me a verification code that I can then put into the app, and I can actually unlock different flights. So is that something you've tried? What's up, Ben? Thanks for stopping by. I'm a little bit behind on the comments. I'm sorry. I'm trying to digest some of these things here. Mavic 2 will be out maybe by March 2018 or further into next year. That's cool. I do wish they kind of had it coming out now, because then we could take advantage of that for the Christmas season or whatever. But yeah, I guess they have other things in mind, or they're troubleshooting, or they're trying to get it right. Then that's awesome. I much prefer to have a fully functional, troubleshooted, solid Mavic Advanced or 2 or Pro 2, whatever. Jordy says, or Jord Y, I think it's a Jordy, says, should I get a Spark? That's up to you. Do you like simplification? Because the Spark is a very simple video and photo shooting drone. Or do you want a little more sophisticated at double the price? Probably just as compact when folded up, but a bit larger when you're flying, in terms of a Mavic Pro or something like that. I do like the Mavic Pro because I can select different resolutions, different frame rates. I can do a lot of different stuff with color profiles and other things. I'm not really convinced I can do that with the Spark now or ever. Mr. O, yes, I have tried the goggles. If you go back a couple months ago, you will find the DJI goggles review, and that was a good fun time. Some people get a little grossed out by the intro where I am acting like I'm puking on myself, but I thought it was funny. Okay. Let's see. So Bumblebee Videos says the gimbal resets, I think. It shuts off camera when it does, so I don't have footage. That is really strange. You could always contact customer support. I know sometimes people don't really put a whole lot of weight in the value of DJI customer support, but you could at least give them a little text or something, go in some sort of live chat with them and see. And that goes with a couple of your other issues. Let's see. And not just yours, Bumblebee, but others as well. Anthony says, hey, Ed, built the same PC in your computer build and love it. Have 3 BenQ 4K monitors and love them also. Thank you for your help. Awesome. Well, thank you for telling me that, Tony, and I'm glad that it worked out for you. I have done a couple different things different since then, so I'm not sure if you've seen my video about my computer build that I made almost a year ago, or if you've seen my kit. It's called kit.com/edrickervlogs, and that's a list of computer components, and I keep that more updated. Of course, you can't really update videos. You just have to make new ones and delete the old ones. But if you go to kit.com/edrickervlogs, you will see my current setup for the most part. Vince says, when I update the soft/firmware, it changes the prop guard setting to on. Took a while to realize what had happened. That's kind of weird. I've never had the prop guard settings turned on. I guess as long as you remember to turn it off if you're not using prop guards, because that would probably suck. Ooh, Stan Cook says, the rumor has it that the next Phantom will have 2 batteries, maybe new design too. Well, I wouldn't mind the new design. I think that the Phantom 4... I think the Phantom 4, or Phantom design, is kind of getting a little outdated. It doesn't look bad, but it's just, they've all kind of looked like this. They've all had the same sort of dimensions, and they just keep adding certain things like sensors or, you know, capability to the camera or whatever. But I would like to see a new body style, that's for sure. I think this has probably seen its last days in terms of development of new stuff. I also don't like this. I wish they would do something about this. See the gimbal? When it goes through its calibration options and it's laying on ground, look how low that gimbal goes. So if you're in grass, if you're in gravel, if you're pretty much anywhere except for a flat surface, you might have issues with your gimbal when you turn on the drone and it goes through its little calibration stage like that. You almost scrape the ground. So I think if we had some sort of camera that would be higher and maybe pushed a little bit forward so that we don't see the props in the image, because of course if you do have the camera higher, you do run the risk of seeing the props in the upper part of the image more. So maybe if the camera could be forward a little more, of course then you run the risk of damaging your camera because it is forward more. Right now we're being sort of protected by these arms, which not only are landing struts but also do protect the gimbal itself. So I don't know. I don't really know what the answer is, but I would love to see what people who are involved in research and design at DJI would come up with. Am I enjoying my FPV racing experience as much/more than flying the Mavic? I know it's a completely different flying style, but just wondering what you would like the most, asks Zal. I really like this type of flying. I won't say I prefer it because I really am a videographer at heart, and I love the cameras on the Mavic and the Phantom and that type of thing. This is purely, I think, for enjoyment and maybe for showing off and just that type of thing. Of course, racing too, and camaraderie and being with a group if you have a group of friends who do that. But it's not like the Phantom where you can put together an awesome video, you know, with amazing stabilized footage that makes you, you know, cry and emotional. I mean, I just don't see that happening. Now, Johnny FPV on YouTube, he does put together some awesome montages with some pretty cool music, and I think that is very moving. But of course, he's also a pro and can do it way more than I can, or way better than I can. I think actually almost everyone can do it better than I can at this current moment, but I'm trying to get better. As I stated in the beginning of this video, I did want to share my success with the FPV racing today. This afternoon I was flying. I went through all 5 of my batteries, drained them all to about 3.7 volts-ish, and had a great time zooming around. It was the first time that I didn't really crash. I had a couple rough landings, but I did not crash per se. Nothing was really damaged. I only went through like 1 prop as opposed to half a dozen or more like last time. And it was kind of disappointing because I went out there yesterday and I tried to fly, armed the drone, props are spinning, throttle up, and all of a sudden, and it just could not fly. It was crashing repetitively. And I realized something was wrong with the internal calibration. So I took it back home and plugged it in the computer, opened up Betaflight, and realized that when I tilted the drone this way, the on-screen digital representation of the drone was registering the drone as moving this way. So I was actually, I don't know, I think I was 90 degrees off from whatever center is on the drone. I can't really talk intelligently about that, but all I know is there was something wrong with the orientation of the drone and the calibration. So I fixed that, went out to fly today, and it was flying like a dream. Would I buy a refurbished drone from DJI? Yes. If it was cheaper, I think I would. As long as there was a way that, you know, I read the fine print and made sure that I could send it back if there was an issue. But I'm big into refurbished products. I get a lot of refurbished products. My BenQ 4K monitor we were talking about a few minutes ago, that was a refurbished product. Let's see. Oh, actually my iPhone 7 was a refurb technically. There were a couple other refurbished things that I buy. Yeah, I don't know. I usually have good experience with them, and if I don't, well, I've had so many good experiences that they kind of outweigh the one or two bad experiences. And maybe I'm just lucky. Maybe I should be not knocking on wood right now. But I think I like to save money when I can. I'm big into eBay. I love buying my stuff on eBay. This is, by the way, so someone asked what this was. This is the Eachine Wizard X220. Very good starter drone. Dazzler 39. I'm sorry, Dazzler 39. I think that's how you say it. Hey, from the middle of the North Sea. The middle of the North Sea. Can you be more specific? Because that sounds cool. I don't know much about the North Sea. By the way, just want to give another shout out to Pickle Rick. His donation is still up there at $100, which is crazy. I'm not sure if he's still here because I'm going so slow through the comments. He is a moderator on the chat here, and I do really appreciate him and his very generous donation. So shout out to him, and if he has any videos he'd like to plug in here, Pickle Rick, go ahead, share what you got. You definitely have the floor in that regard. Oh, okay, back up there. So I'm going so slow. You said that you had an Inspire 1. You liked it, but it was way too big. Yeah, I think that's sometimes an issue. I would love to get an Inspire 2. But, of course, I look at some of those videos and I think, man, like, where am I going to fly that? Not in my neighborhood and not in a dog park and not, like, a lot of places I would fly. I think if you have something like that, you really have to have some professional gigs lined up or some pretty concrete permission to fly somewhere with the understanding that you will be flying there. Because some of those bigger drones, as impressive as they are, I can just imagine how much attention they cause and how much potential, you know, I don't know, bad attention they can cause, really. Did they give you the option to repair? Bumblebee is asking, did they give you the option to repair or to replace when you sent in your Phantom? I think that's what you asked. So they gave me the option. Well, first of all, I did request a repair, and then they actually contacted me and they said, you know, this is a pretty minor issue. It's just a crack through the hull. It's not like it's an expensive component or something. So they actually convinced me to replace, which was pretty cool. So actually got the drone back faster. And that's one thing they also said was if you select the replace option, you will get a drone back quicker if you are under this Care Refresh plan, this DJI Care Refresh plan that Bumblebee Videos is referring to. All right, I'm really behind on the comments, so I'm going to scroll down just a little bit. I might be missing some of yours. I'm sorry, but I do have to get up to the more current questions. Oh, Pickle Rick is leaving. Man, see, that's what I get for being too far back on the comments. Pickle Rick, your generosity will not be forgotten. All right. Glock 232. Ed, that blue charger you got for your Mavic Pro, you recall price? Let me look it up. let's see. I bought it on Light Take. Well, I didn't buy it. They gave it to me because I did a review. But Light Take was the company, or rather the website, that sent it to me. I think it's a 5-in-1 charger, pretty sure. 5-in-1 charger. Not coming up. Maybe it's something else. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this, but regardless. Oh, there it is. So they're selling it for 37 bucks. Not too bad. Not too bad. So I think that's a sale price, by the way. Glock has a story. I used my drone to look at something floating about 200 yards out in the ocean. Someone thought it was a body. Oh, police love me for it. Otherwise, they were going to have to call the fire department out to go see what it was. Ended up being an old crab pot buoy with growth on it. Wow, well, thank you for sharing. That's interesting. That's the beauty of drones. You can get some very inaccessible shots and very inaccessible locations documented or analyzed in that regard. Also, for people like if you're inspecting bridges or radio antenna or things that would normally be a bit dangerous for someone to do personally, like as a human being, you know, climbing up these things or rappelling down them or checking on things. You can do it with drones now, and you can probably charge relatively good. You know, you could probably name your price and people would hire you because you're saving a lot of time, a lot of effort, you're reducing risk. You know, they would be spending a lot more to hire someone to personally climb up these different structures to inspect them. So if you can do that with a drone, that might be a really good option if you're trying to make some money. Let's see. Bumblebee videos. Hey, Ed, did you take your DJI knowledge test? My DJI knowledge test. Can you clarify what that means? I'm not entirely sure what that is. Mike Carson asks if I'm still getting gigs using my drone. Yeah, I do on occasion. I haven't gotten any drone-specific gigs recently, but I have maybe shot a few weddings recently where I did take up the drone just as part of my whole entire shoot package. Excuse me. The last time I really took up a drone for a job specifically, yeah, probably not since my last couple of videos when I was talking about that Pokemon card factory that I shot at, and also the storage facility that I recently shot at. And actually, we were editing that storage facility video for a couple weeks now, and we just finished like the final edit this week. So I mean, it's still been a project that's been pending, but that was fun. You know, it's a huge storage facility, indoor storage facility. You drive in and you fly. I fly the drone in to kind of show how big this place is and how many different places you can rent out. The fact that you can drive straight on through and that there's enough room for a huge truck, a Penske truck, and another truck to pass by each other. It's a really, really cool facility, and my parents have actually rented out one of those in the past, so I think that was really cool that I was able to make a commercial for them, actually 2 commercials, one documenting the fact that it's easy to be accessed from certain intersections that are major in town, like kind of showing the proximity to the cities around us, and then also showing weather conditions, that you're not going to be melting in the summer and you're not going to be getting wet in the, you know, when it's raining or something. It's all climate controlled. So to make a video with a drone doing all that was pretty awesome. Chris Rollins is in here. Chris Rollins, thank you. He's loving the beard. Chris has been helping me out, and then I've been helping him out, so it's been mutual because we both have this Eachine X220 Wizard. And I appreciate that. We were on FaceTime the other day talking about how we can get our controller and receivers hooked up. DJI has a knowledge test in the app before you fly. Huh. I don't know about that, Bumblebee. That's interesting. DJI has a knowledge test in the app before you fly. 9-question quiz. I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure. Let's see. It only lets you skip the knowledge test 4 times, and you have to do it before it'll let you fly. What? Is this something new? Is this... I don't know. Huh. Oh, it won't let you post a link in the video, Glock. Sorry about that. Let's see. Anthony is asking, what is the minimum read-write speed for an SD card for Mavic Pro 4K video? Minimum? I'm not sure what the minimum is, but I will show you what I have. And usually, if I'm thinking about shooting 4K video, it's going to be something along the lines of like 90 megabits per second read speed. Hold on. Read and write speed, I mean. I don't know if... Yeah, okay, it kind of does. So it's a U3 card. It is... I better bring it up so I can talk intelligently about this, because I would hate to start leading you astray. Let's see. So what I use right now is a 64 gigabyte micro SD XC card. And it has a write speed of up to 60 megabits per second, a read speed of up to 90. But regardless, it can be used for 4K video. So it's a UHS Class 3 or U3 card, and that's important for being able to shoot 4K video. Beyond that, I'm not really sure, honestly. I just know it works, and I like it. All right, back to you guys. Where are you? There we are. Yeah, Bumblebee, I'll have to check that out. The latest software update, huh? I guess I haven't taken my drone out in a little while. I've been doing this eSheen thing, but I've been having my DJI drones, kind of ignoring them by accident. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Ben, I've got to update my drones, apparently. Electromagnetic warning with my Mavic Pro, Mike asks. Yes, I have gotten that quite a bit. Sometimes I'll be trying to take off or setting up my drone. Maybe I'm on concrete steps that just happen to be reinforced with steel or some other metal. Sometimes I'm fiddling with the drone inside my house on my desk or something. Or maybe I'm inside of a car setting up or doing something like that, and I will get that warning. Excuse me. Also, if I maybe want to take off on top of my car, if there's no other place to take off, I'll definitely have that electromagnetic warning. And that's not something to ignore, really, because if you take off and you have too much of that electromagnetic interference, your drone could just take off. It's happened before, where I've launched, and then before I knew it, my drone's heading off that way for no apparent reason. Chris Rollins, I'm not sure, you did a live video with your Spark, and your drone ended up taking off in some random direction. Do you remember that? Do you think that was electromagnetic interference? Bumblebee, yeah, Chris and I got to get together again. We're trying to figure out if we can get someone to buy our plane ticket to get up together and do something crazy again with drones. I want to give that lifting endeavor another shot, lifting the Mavic with the Phantom 4 Pro. I think we can do it. We just need to figure out a different way, because I think the way that we did it was a little bit off balance. The Phantom 4 was very rear heavy, and it was struggling just to keep itself level. And I think if we had something hanging right underneath the Phantom 4 Pro, we wouldn't have had that issue quite so much, and we might have been able to use more of the prop strength and the motor strength to lift up, as opposed to just trying to stay level. Have you ever crashed any drones? Asks Carson. Carson, your name sounds familiar. How do I know you? I think we've talked before in private messages, haven't we? I should say DMs. How bad and what is the backstory of what happened? Have you ever crashed any drones? Yes. Well, we're talking about lifting the Mavic Pro with the Phantom 4 Pro, which was something that we always considered to be reckless, but we decided to do for the sake of science. I did kind of crash my Phantom 4 Pro that way. I'm not sure if that's how I got a crack in the arm, but it did happen. But the Mavic Pro, I ended up crashing once when I was flying through the trees with prop guards, getting a little bit too confident because I thought I might be able to actually fly through trees with prop guards and be okay. Well, it turns out you really need those all-encompassing surrounding prop guards that DJI makes, and not some of those little crappy plastic prop guards that just cover like a couple degrees and a couple degrees. It really has to be surrounding the drone to be effective in such an environment. Partial prop guards may work inside when you have walls and you know, surfaces that are very wide and flat. Excuse me. But if you have small obstacles around you, they're not really going to save you. Those small obstacles are going to get in between those two prop guards, and then your props are going to hit it and eat it up, and that will be the end of your flying for that day. So it wasn't that bad. I will say my gimbal did kind of pop, not off, but just to the right. Like it kind of was like stuck, pointed this way, and I actually had to physically like wrench it back into place, and it popped back into place. It was almost like it was out of joint, and then I turned it and it went, and it was straight again. Thankfully, because I had to shoot the next day, and that would have really been bad if I didn't have my drone with me. So if you do want to get crazy with drones, at least make sure you don't have to use one within the next couple days if you do have to get it repaired. Chris asked, what's my lighting setup for my office? Well, right now, it's pretty simple. I'm not going to say it's a crazy lighting setup. It's just, I have just a regular, you know, 3-bulb lamp there. Then I have my Octacool 9 right there. But only 3 of the bulbs are turned on. I'm not sure if this, yeah, you can see right there. There's only 3 bulbs. There's 9 bulbs total, but I only have 3 on. And then my computer screen's right here. That's what I see. I see all your comments. And Pickle Rick, who will forever reside in my heart. All right. Scrolling down, scrolling down. Mike just got his Mavic goggles. Of course, they come out with the Racing Edition a week later. Yeah. Nope, I haven't done anything with Racing Edition. But I do like the Mavic goggles. I will admit, I eBayed them. I used them as much as I wanted to, and I realized, and I moved to this house, and I realized they were just in my closet for like 3 months doing nothing, and I thought, why? Why? So I sold them on eBay. Yep, made some money back, and that enables me to kind of buy some other stuff that I can review as well, because, you know, there's a lot of junk around here. If you look at all the things I've reviewed, there's a lot of stuff accumulating, and a lot of copies of things accumulating. So when it comes to something like that, I would love to give away smaller things, but when it comes to something like that, which I did pay for with my own money, I would like to kind of see a little bit of money come back in the form of an eBay sale if I'm not going to be using the thing. Bumblebee asked what he's looking for a blog camera tomorrow for Cyber Monday. Any ideas? Looking to spend about $300 to $350. Hard to say. Hard to say. There are some options. Maybe we can talk later, because I would have to kind of formulate my opinions about them and get you a few links. There are some things in your price range you could use. However, if you're looking to maybe get serious and really think about doing this longer term, you might decide to up your budget a little bit. It might give you some more options. Right now, I don't personally use anything that's in that price range unless I'm talking about a GoPro or something, which really doesn't fit the bill. So let's talk after. I'll send you some ideas. Ken Hare, man, well, thank you for your donation. Jeez, nice to see Ken. I don't know if anyone here, I'm sure a lot of people actually here recognize Ken. Ken does a lot of great videos with the Phantom 4 Pro. I think you also have the Mavic Pro. You do a lot of great drone stuff, a lot of informative videos about the FAA. I really liked your video when you were talking about certain aspects of the FAA, and it really kind of puts things in perspective. So thank you for coming on, Heron, or Ken Heron, and to answer your question. This Thursday, man. No, we'll find an opening. We'll talk. Email me. We'll get together. I'd love to be on your show. Hey, it looks like a lot of people here know Ken. That's awesome. Well, welcome, Ken. Welcome to my neck of the woods. Bribery might work, Ken. It's already working. Yeah, I do appreciate generosity. You guys are awesome. Helps me to continue doing what I love to do, which is make videos for you guys. And hopefully I return the favor by being informative and helpful and answer questions as you guys have them. What I got to answer this because he's asked a couple times now. What do you love about drone flying? That's an interesting question. Well, I had always been interested in drones, but I did not really have the money to buy one, or the reason, because no one was asking me to do stuff with the drone, so it would have been just a hobby thing. But someone had eventually approached me asking, Ken, oh, you like my relaxing voice? I can provide a relaxing voice for your live channel, Ken. We'll talk. We will talk. Let's see. Yeah, drones are just really cool because I love the aerial angle. I love how you can see the camera move through space and that motion that changes the perspective of what the camera is seeing, especially in 4K. Some of the most amazing shots you see in cinema and movies, music videos, it's always the camera moving through space, circling an object, flying over whatever, doing all this cool stuff. And I love to see that type of cinematography. And so really the only way to do it, if you don't have a huge budget for a helicopter and a jib arm and all this stuff, is to have a drone. And to be able to do that as one person and to accomplish some of those shots that have been in your head for so long and now you can do it. I guess that was what kind of had me fall in love with drones in the first place. And then after that, creating a channel and kind of having this community that I can interact with, I guess that was the second part of the love, and that really helped me continue on. If I didn't have a channel to be talking into and be enjoying my time with you guys, I don't think that I would be doing so much with drones. I think I get just as much from you guys as you do from me, and I really appreciate that. And watching this live stream and seeing all your comments, and we're all having a good time. We're all happy. Again, knock on wood, but nobody's fighting and nobody's cursing and being stupid. I mean, this is a really awesome little group we've got here. So thank you guys for joining me tonight. So I guess that kind of that question kind of ended with me talking about the live stream, but ultimately I think that's a big part of it. That's a big part of it, is the community here, the drone community. Do I see a future of Ed Ricker ASMR? I don't think so. I don't think so. I wouldn't be able to listen to it. I would record it and then just upload it and never listen to it because I can't stand it myself. But hey, if there's a market for it, I'm always down. Do I plan to speak more about my job in vlogs? I think I could probably speak a little more about my job. There are some videos I've talked about. I'm apprehensive to talk about clients and to show a lot of stuff like that because sometimes that's private and they haven't really given me permission to show some of that footage and to talk about them in such an open manner. But if I can be a little more general about what I talk about, then yeah, I think I can. Also, talking about my business, I love to talk about it, but there have been some times where, I mean, I don't mind phone calls and stuff, but there have been some times where people have been a little harassing and have been messing with me over the phone and posting my address on Instagram and being really, really ugly. And luckily I've come out, you know, ahead of it relatively unscathed. But to have a business which does include a little bit of personal information on the website and stuff has posed its challenges when I'm talking to an audience here on my other channel. So that's just something I always kind of keep in mind. It's no big deal, but we're here. Oh, by the way, oh my gosh, Bumblebee videos. I'm sorry, I was answering questions. I didn't respond to you, and thank you for your donation as well. I kind of got caught up on a tangent here. Bumblebee videos, thank you for your generosity, and thank you twice for your generosity because you were here last chat here, and you supported me as well. So thank you for being a regular supporter of my channel. How can I reach out to you after? We'll talk. We'll talk. Remind me. If anything, just a DM, but we'll talk. And part of that relates to what I just said previously about my experiences. So we'll talk. Let's see. All right, Ken, thanks for stopping by. Enjoy your editing. I know you're churning out a lot of good videos, so no surprise that you're doing some editing on a Sunday night. That's what I should be doing. I probably will be after I close this chat up. When am I coming to Charlotte to blog? I'd love to come to Charlotte in the next couple weeks, I guess. I love to shoot the city. The only problem is Charlotte does have that issue with there is a relatively large airport there in Class B airspace. So you do have to be kind of creative about where you fly in Charlotte. So if you stay more or less northeast, you should be good to go. That's assuming you don't have FAA authorization. You could get FAA authorization, but that does take some time. Let's see. A couple other questions here. What is the best drone that you would recommend? That really depends on your budget, because I would always recommend probably the higher end models rather than the lower end models. But if you have to stay within a budget, you know, I guess you go at for whatever you can afford, along with maybe some extra batteries and some, filters or something that could benefit your flying a little bit like that. I wouldn't spend all my money on a drone and have nothing left to spend on some helpful and convenient accessories that could really make my flying more enjoyable. So keep that in mind. How good am I at the drums? I'm not going to play today. And I'm probably provoking some of you to start asking for that. But no, I'm not going to play today. But I will say there are some videos of me playing the drums. If you go back in my channel a little bit, I actually have a song that I made. It's Ed Ricker original. What's it called? Sailor's Delight. I'm not sure if I put that in the title or not, but you can search that, Sailor's Delight Ed Ricker, and you'll see that I'm playing some metal on the drums. But I will, what I'm trying to do is get better so I can play along with some songs and maybe show some covers on YouTube. But for now, even though it's back there and it's so accessible, I'm pretty rusty, and I really want to get to the point where I can actually play along to some of my own music, because I do play guitar too, and I would really like to put together some stuff. And right now I do a lot of programmed drums, a lot of like quantized beats that are pretty much perfect and robotic through the computer by programming hits that way. And I want to be able to really play what I hear in my head on a real kit, or at least an electric kit, with my hands as opposed to programming notes. And that's just kind of a long-term goal for me. All right, Carson, thanks for stopping by. Bumblebee Videos said, hey, I got a gig on December 15th. If not, I got a Star Wars, oops, it went up. Star Wars Last Jedi ticket with your name on it. Bumblebee Videos, I can't remember. Where are you at? Where are you located these days? You're asking me. You're asking me that? I have to check. Are you asking me that? Tim, yeah. My guitar playing is better than my drumming. I can only fake good drumming for so long, and only with a lot of cuts in the video. Is a Spark a good drone for my 15-year-old son? He can fly, but is not familiar with using a camera. Well, if you can fly, that's probably the biggest thing that you want to consider, because, of course, a Spark is a relatively large monetary investment. So if you don't think he's going to crash it, he can learn the camera aspect fairly decently once he gets it up in the air. So I would say yes, it's a good thing for him, especially if he's expressed interest. Does he like drones? Does he like DJI drones? Does he have something else in mind, or does he really think that maybe a Spark is a good thing? So if he's mentioned it, hey, go for it. If you're willing to buy it for him, I think that would be a great thing. And then you guys can both use one. I don't know if you already have a drone, but that sounds like a really good father-son bonding session to me. Ah, Bumblebee videos. Well, we will definitely talk about that too. I have to research and see if December 15th is a gig day for me. December, here's the thing. December, I would say November, December, and January are pretty slow for me in terms of videography, unfortunately. It's just the case. Last year, I was slow. The year before, it was slow. Looking at my records last year, I think I might have had a little more gigs than this year, which is a little concerning, but I have YouTube, and I didn't have that last December. My YouTube channel in December of last year, I think I had not even 300, maybe 300 subscribers. So my efforts in my YouTube channel has really grown since then, and I really appreciate that. Someone's asking if they see a mouse in the back near the guitar. No, I don't think I see a mouse. Oh, you're talking about this thing right here. I bet you're talking about that. This is Wishbone. Yeah, I won him at some church event when I was like 10, and I had a choice between this guy and some other thing, and I bought Wishbone because I got Wishbone because Wishbone I used to watch when I was young. Really awesome little television series when I was young. Used to love that. I'm hoping that's what you thought it was. You know, if you really saw a mouse, let me know. Speaking of little trinkets and stuff, I was going to show you this as well. This is my Metal Earth Iron Man. I put this together last week, and I'm really proud of it. It took a little while, and there are a few parts that ended up breaking because I just bent it too much. These are all individual little pieces. I made a video earlier this year showing how these models are put together, but I was reading online, and they said that this one is the most complicated and difficult to put together. So I thought, hey, I'm going to get that one. Also, this one. This was like also one of the most complicated, and it's big. It came in a big package. And every one of those little pieces is a joint, you know? Oh man, that took forever. But it's fun. Thanks, Steve, for the shout out for my video. I made that video about the unboxing and setup of the Mavic Pro, the February 2017 version, just because someone asked me to do that on the internet, on one of my comments, and I said, okay, I'll do a little setup video as if I'm setting it up for the first time. And, well, lo and behold, that was one of my most viewed video. Actually, that is my most viewed video ever, by at least twofold. I think it has 1.4 million views now. And it was just on a whim. It was done some evening. I kind of rushed it, which is kind of, you can kind of see that I did some typos in there and stuff, just because I wasn't really paying as much attention as I should have. But it turned out to be one of my most viewed videos. It was pretty cool. Yeah, Ken, when I saw her walking, that woman with her dogs, and I was sitting there on this little stairway, and she could easily have gone around me, or she could have gone somewhere else, but she was dead set on going right through, and I don't know if she knew what I was doing. I doubt she knew I was recording. Maybe she thought I was just crazy talking to myself. But yeah, it was kind of funny, and then I left it, and I thought that was hilarious. Bumblebee Videos coming in with the support again. Thank you. Hey, man, I'm sure you can't make it, but enjoy a ticket on me. I'm starting a drone unit in my class. Hope we can Skype the students. Keep up the great work. I'm also starting a YouTube channel, Not Drones. So you're starting a YouTube channel that doesn't have drones? Or doesn't incorporate drones into it? Skyping your students would be awesome. Let me know. I guess that's another thing that we can talk about. Thank you for your support. Again, very generous, Bumblebee Videos. A regular in these live chats. Yeah, I don't think she really knew what I was doing, but hey, it's whatever. I'm thinking of selling Mavic Pro and getting Phantom 4 Pro instead. Would that be a better way to improve shooting? I find the Mavic is a lot to adjust just to get decent output. It's a lot to adjust to get decent output. So you're saying that tweaking the settings and stuff in manual mode for the camera is a little bit too much for you to bother with? You don't like to do that? I would say that the Phantom 4 Pro is not going to help that. I mean, if you're in auto mode with the Mavic, it's similar to auto mode in the Phantom 4 Pro when you're talking about camera settings. But if you don't want to have to tweak all those settings in manual mode, I don't think you're going to have a much better experience. In fact, the Phantom 4 Pro adds another aspect, which is aperture, which the Mavic Pro has a fixed aperture, doesn't change. Phantom 4 Pro, you can dial in your aperture to darken and lighten your exposure. There are good things and bad things about that as well, but that is one more setting to have to deal with in manual mode. So, yeah, yeah. But if you're interested in different types of resolutions and frame rates that don't look so great on the Mavic Pro, and you want something that looks more amazing and stellar, the Phantom 4 Pro will definitely get that done for you. I don't think that the Mavic Pro has quite the great type of look, like, video quality and lack of grain that the Phantom 4 Pro has in darker conditions, or maybe like it's close to sunset, or maybe it's a very cloudy day. You're definitely going to have a better experience with the Phantom 4 Pro. But in terms of simplicity, I'm not really sure if that's going to change for you. Mike asks if I've ever thought about shooting real estate videos. Yes, I have shot a couple real estate videos. There was one, it was a local, well, I guess not local to here. Back before I moved, there was a local residential community, big stretch of land, lots of future development options. And the woman wanted me to fly the drone over all this space, all these empty lots, and a couple lots that had already had development, taking place on the land, and basically show what's possible over there, different places, different roads, different cul-de-sacs. And that was actually a really good time. I actually used probably like 12 batteries worth of drone flight for that particular shoot, and I didn't have my chargers with me and stuff, so I actually had to come back 2 different days, and I used all the Phantom 4 Pro batteries I had, and then I whipped out the Mavic Pro and used all of those batteries, and still had to come back a second day. It was just a huge, huge job. The basic footage you find is poor on the Mavic Pro. Yeah, I can agree with that. There are certain situations where that might be the case. I still lower my sharpness just a little bit. I think now it's called softness, but it still is a value that I lower to like -1 or something. Having that at 0 or +1 can really create a strange look on your footage. And if you're shooting in 4K, sometimes it makes very hard lines in your video look like there are ants crawling on it, and it makes it look almost too digitally sharp. And some people say that you can kind of soften that up in editing and post, but I've never really had a good time with that. I never really have. So I always shoot in like a -1 softness, and that's just something I like to do. Just reading comments here. I have the DJI Mavic. Do I need to register if I only used it for fun? Well, first of all, are you in the United States or not? Because that does depend on where you live. But if you are in the United States and you're only registering, or you're only flying for fun, currently you don't have to. But there is some legislation kind of heading down the pipeline where it looks like in the next couple months, the FAA will be presenting some sort of information to the Senate and the House, and ultimately up to the president's desk, they say, to sign into law that we have to register recreationally as well. We used to have to register recreationally until that was turned over by a 3-judge panel. I think his name was Taylor, I think his last name was. It's been a little while since I researched that. He was a lawyer, and he basically said that the FAA can't tell him to register as a recreational pilot. And the judge agreed, and that was something that we've been going off of ever since. But that was more of a loophole, if anything, and the FAA looks like it's kicking itself into gear to get that wording a little bit more concrete and a little less interpretive. So right now, no. But soon, yes. Do you want to do it now just to get it out of the way? Maybe. Then you don't have to remember. Bumblebee videos. Last question. I'm also trying to get my 107. Drone Pilot Ground School has a 192 special. Whoa! Right now? That must be a Black Friday thing. Because that's phenomenal. Usually it's $300, then you can get $50 off with my little promo code. But if it's 192, I would snatch that up. That's the lowest it's ever been in my experience. Hi, I'm from the UK. What's your opinion on the Goggles SE? Is that a new form of the DJI goggles? I typed it in and I don't see DJI Goggles SE. Am I missing something? Or are you just asking about the goggles in general? I have a Mavic Pro, thinking of getting a Spark. Your opinion, or should I just buy more Mavic Pro batteries and a better backpack? I do like your second option there. It really depends, Bill, on what you like to fly, or why you fly your Mavic Pro. If you like shooting in 4K, if you like shooting in multiple types of frame rates, if you like the fact that you can get some really awesome video out of the Mavic and that you can push it into like 40 miles per hour in sport mode, that type of thing. Oh, and that maybe you like the gimbal, because there's also an improved gimbal on the Mavic Pro as opposed to the DJI Spark gimbal, which is a little more simple. So it really depends on what you like, because the Spark does have very limited video capability. It shoots good video, but it's limited to 1080 at 30 frames per second. You can't select anything else. So that could be an issue, could be a deal breaker. If you like 4K, maybe not. But if you do like a small little drone, take with you to the beach or something, and it's not quite so expensive, hey, go for it. But I do like your idea about extra batteries and a better backpack, because you will not regret that ever. Oh, Sports Edition. Yeah, I think we talked about that earlier. I don't have any. I really don't have any experience with that. Sorry. But there might be some video reviews you can check online. I've just used the regular goggles version and never used the SE. Nick Hey asks, what video editing program do you use and would you recommend to a beginner? Well, I use Adobe Premiere, and it's part of the Creative Cloud by Adobe. But I wouldn't say that's really a beginner program, although you could learn and you can go through some tutorials and you could probably get a basic understanding relatively quickly. But it does have a lot of options that maybe some other types of editing programs would simplify a little bit. Might be a little easier to jump into if you have no video editing experience at all. Now, here's where you guys can help Nick out. What do you guys use? Because I don't have a whole lot of experience with other types of programs. I really just use Premiere. I've used it for years, literally probably exclusively for 7 years now. So I don't have a whole lot of experience with other video editing programs. But what do you guys use? What would you guys recommend to Nick as a beginner video editing program? How hard was the FAA test, Mike? It was not that difficult, but I did make sure that I studied a lot for it. I studied more than I probably needed to, and I took all those practice tests that were in the Drone Pilot Ground School, which was the course that I took. I took that again and again and again. I made sure that I could get 100 on each one of those tests. Now, I did not get 100 when I took the test formally at the FAA testing facility, but I chalked that up to both potentially nerves or just taking stills. I haven't taken a test since college, so I felt a little rusty, that's for sure. But and a little bit of a test anxiety, which I haven't experienced in a while too. I was like, wow, this is what it used to feel like. This is why I used to have nightmares. Yeah. I still have nightmares every now and then about missing class or failing a test at college, and I graduated college 7 years ago. It's I guess it's some psychological thing, but yeah, it wasn't that hard. I just made sure that I studied, and a lot of the difficulty is because you lack confidence. I think if you were to really go in there confidently and having known that you have studied as much as you can and need to, it's not hard at all. Thank you guys for giving some insight into some good video editing programs for beginners. I see you guys have really come through with some good suggestions for Nick. I appreciate that. What's up, Niles? Nice to see you. As always, I'm a little bit further back on the comments. So you could have said that 10 minutes ago, and it's one of those things. Cool, Bumblebee videos. That's awesome. Good luck. I wish you good test taking, and yeah, study, study, study. Do you agree with the rental of the Adobe software versus the previous ability to purchase it? $19 a month. I think that's good. I think that subscription-based program like Adobe Premiere is good. Here's my rationale. I'm going to get my calculator out so I can tell you correct stuff. You said it's 19. I'm not sure if it's like $19.99 or if it really is 19, but let's just even it out to $20 a month just for easy, you know, make it easy on ourselves. And I'm going to actually switch to my desktop view. We got our calculator out. $20 a month times 12, $240. Now what I'm going to do is go to Final Cut and see what Final Cut costs by. Okay, so Final Cut Pro costs $300 for basically your license, and that license probably lasts forever, probably, but you're not going to get your updates. So if a new Final Cut comes out or something, you're probably going to have to pay an extra amount, whereas $240 per year will get you consistent updates for as long as you have that subscription. Now, I will also say, that when I first bought Adobe Premiere, it was part of the Adobe Production Suite, and I spent $800 on Adobe Premiere CS5. And since then, I've upgraded to CS6 for more money, and then I upgraded to Creative Cloud, and then started paying subscription. So if I think about it, I think it was either close or I'm not sure if which one actually evens out to more, but all I know is paying per month seemed to be the better choice because I got free upgrades essentially. Now you can also get, for only a little bit more, you can get more programs. I think let's see. I'm trying to talk intelligently here without telling you guys wrong, so I'm kind of Googling these things as I go. Buy now, Adobe Premiere. Okay, $19.99, yeah, so $20 for Premiere Pro. Now, all apps are $40 a month, paid monthly. Now, you do get free upgrades, so I think I'm already in the 2018 versions of all these programs. So I don't know what it would be. We've had Adobe Premiere and Creative Cloud subscription for a while now, so I'm not really sure how many of those updates you would have had to pay for anyway. But just thinking about like CS4, CS5, CS6, and all this stuff, I was spending pretty much a yearly fee anyway just to stay current. So for me, I don't really think that a subscription-based Premiere Pro or Creative Cloud is really a bad thing, just because of how I use it. Now, I do use it probably more heavily than the average user, but again, you might not consider Premiere if you don't use it very often. Adobe Final Cut 10 or Pro, I haven't really used it that much, but it seems like it's a little bit more of a simpler program than Premiere Pro. So Final Cut is never something that I kind of ever wanted to try and buy as a license and use like that. I think I've always appreciated subscription-based Premiere Pro. That's just my own personal opinion. Yeah, and by the way, if you want Photoshop, $10 a month, that's not bad at all. Photoshop used to be killer. I remember my parents bought Photoshop for me when I was younger, and it really kind of set them back a little bit just to get Photoshop for class. And if they could have paid $10 a month for Photoshop and then canceled it once we were done with it, that would have been pretty crazy, actually. That would have been good. Bumblebee Videos, thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Isaac was asking, Part 107 certification, how long to obtain from start to finish, assuming no time wasted? No time wasted, I would assume you mean not taking your time with the study process and really, working hard at it. You could probably study for it in a week if you really put yourself through a fairly disciplined study schedule. Then to get the test, like to sign up and to take the test, it literally just took a phone call. It was a Friday. It was like 1 o'clock. I called my local FAA testing facility thinking that I would have to schedule something for the next week. And she said, well, you can come in at 2:30 today. And so it was 1 o'clock when I called, and it was 2:30 by the time I was taking the test. The longest part at that point, once I finished the test, was getting my temporary certificate, which took a matter of days, maybe upwards of a week, because I had to register on a website and kind of like put in my login credentials, and it took a little while because it was a weekend and that type of thing. To get the plastic card took about 2 months. But the plastic card, which actually has your official license, is not necessary to fly commercially. All you need is your temporary certificate, which is just a printout on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So it really depends, I guess the full process, maybe 2.5 months. but to be able to fly commercially, 2 weeks max. You purchased a Mavic Elite Soft Pressure Wash. Can I use this for business Facebook ads without 107? Technically, no, because that's a commercial use. So it sounds like you'd be making commercials or ads for your business, which I'm assuming is Elite Soft Pressure Wash, unless I'm wrong. So technically, you would. All right, Brooks, thanks for stopping by. How is the acting career going? Well, it's not going right now. There's not a whole lot going on. I could be auditioning for some local indie stuff, so maybe some local commercials if I really wanted to, but I haven't really felt the urge to do that. When I was signed with an acting agent, she was sending me a lot of stuff, a lot of work down toward Atlanta. And that process was relatively slow because I wasn't technically local, and they wanted local people in Atlanta. But Atlanta at the time, and even now, is still the big hub on the East Coast south of New York City. Atlanta, there's a lot of good productions being shot out of Atlanta. So living in North Carolina and having to drive about 6 hours to Atlanta just for a 30-second audition, that's rough. That's something I didn't want to do very often. So I decided to kind of hang it up, let my contract with my agent run out, and maybe in the future I can pick it back up. It looks like North Carolina is actually becoming more of a bigger acting state anyway, because a lot of those tax incentives that brought film production to North Carolina kind of dried up with our last governor, Pat McCrory. And now with our new governor, he has kind of signed into action some of those incentives, and it looks like film production might be coming back to North Carolina. So I would love to take advantage of that. That's pretty much where acting is going at the moment. All right, Jordy, thanks for coming by. Niles, thank you for the tip. I do appreciate your support, Niles. I do believe this is the second time you've supported me, correct? So thank you for the repeat. Your generosity is noted. Pleasantly and kindly noted. Tim, you say a local community college here also administers the test. I wonder if this is common. Maybe. Well, I mean, does your community college have some sort of aviation or aeronautics program? Because that would make a lot of sense. Regardless, all you really need is a computer at like maybe a computer lab or something to take the test technically. Although you would probably also want to have some people who are knowledgeable about the test to be there to help you take it or to administer it. Isaac, right now, well, first of all, you're asking, I use Lightroom as well as Premiere. Also, what are you using to screen capture? Now, are you asking screen capture here, like when I do this? Or are you asking screen capture when I screen cap for my videos when I put them on YouTube? Screen cap for YouTube is just hitting the print screen button and then pasting in Photoshop. This option right here, where I can show you what I'm seeing essentially, is Wirecast right here. Wirecast Play. It's just $10 a month for the license, although there are much more expensive and more professional licenses to be had. But $10 gets you the basic program, which I'm using today to stream. All right, NJFR. I wish I had a name. I'm sure you... Let me know your name next time so I don't have to say NJFR. Got to sleep. Great live. Look forward to the next. Take it easy. Cheers. All right, man. Take it easy. What's up, Steven? All right, Barry. Thanks for stopping by. All right, guys. We're pushing an hour and 20 minutes. I think that's probably good for me. I don't know how much longer my voice is going to last. I do appreciate you guys stopping by, and I love to answer your questions. There are a few people who have donated today, and I really do appreciate that. Thank you for supporting my channel, especially, let's see, well, I'm going to read them off again. Why not? From the most recent, we have Niles Tim. Thank you, Niles Tim. Bumblebee Videos, I think, left already, but thank you. Ken Heron already left as well. Thank you, though. Pickle Rick has a Mavic Pro. He is the new record holder for donations. Thank you, Pickle Rick. $100. That is just awesome. So thank you very much to him. I think he left as well. But I am out of here. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And hope that I can put out some more videos in the future. And maybe some live tutorials. Who knows? All right, guys. Thank you very much. Isaac, one LA Flyer, John, Gaston has been here for like the entire time. That's awesome. All right, guys.